Beating around the bush. It's literally a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand it when people are not direct. They go around the houses, try to do things in a way that makes them seem really gentle and passive, but underneath it's really a form of passive aggressiveness. Just be direct. Like, I am so direct as a person, and not in a rude way, because I think there is this connotation that if somebody's direct, they're rude. But I'm direct in the sense that if I have something to say, I find a polite way, but I say it. If I need to address something that hasn't been done, I address what hasn't been done. I don't go around the houses trying to seem like, really cutesy and innocent and a really nice person. I just say what I have to say. And, I honestly believe in life, this is the way to be. I think when you beat around the bush and you go around the houses, you make your life so difficult. I really believe that if you want to do something in life, you've just got to do it. If you've got something to say, you've just got to say it. If you need to address something that isn't working, you've just got to address it. I honestly credit having this mindset with having achieved some incredible things in my life, because I think if I had been the kind of person that didn't want to rock the boat or didn't want to be potentially disliked by people, I honestly don't think I would have achieved all that I have done in my life. And so I think I believe that it's important to be straight to the point about things in life that are working, that are not working, and the kinds of dreams and ambitions that you have. I do see life here sometimes as being quite passive in Italy. And, there is a huge contradiction, because on the one hand, people here are very passionate, they're very vocal and opinionated about things. Yet on the other hand, there is this sense of passiveness that does exist here. And I see it in many different ways. I see it with people not being as direct or open with you as they should be. If you've done something wrong, people sometimes don't want to admit that to you, and they will try and deliver the news in a different way. Or if people are not performing in a work environment, rather than addressing the people individually, it becomes something that everybody is subjected to, even those that are performing properly and doing everything that they're meant to do. Like, there is always this kind of passiveness sometimes that happens here in Italy, and also when the service is bad. So I'm really, really direct. And, people would say, oh no, British people are very passive and super polite, and all they do is say sorry. It's true. People do say sorry a lot over nonsense in the UK. However, I do think people do speak up when things aren't right. There's a reason why people will make complaints when the service is bad, or, they will say something on social media later on and, end up being compensated by the company sometimes because of it. Like, people do speak up. Like, I'm not shy to say when I've received bad service, but I prefer to say it at the time, because I'm a big believer in giving people the opportunity to remedy a situation. But people here in Italy, a lot of people will walk with their feet. They experience bad service, they don't say anything at the time, and then they leave and they never go back there again. And then they tell their friends and family about the experience. Sometimes they'll leave a review or not, it depends on the establishment. But they have never given that business an opportunity to address its shortcomings. And sometimes I find that super frustrating, because I think, if you've ever had a business, you will know firsthand it's blimmin' difficult to please everybody all the time. There are always going to be people who are not happy with the service that you produce, whatever that may be. But if you have feedback, you have people telling you what they're happy about and what they're not happy about. If you are an open minded business owner, you have the opportunity to improve your service, your products, your delivery to the point where actually you're only going to get better as a result. Compared to hearing absolute crickets and assuming that your service is good and the people are happy, except slowly but surely the numbers are dropping, as is the profit. It's this. I wish people would be more upfront about bad service. When I'm in a restaurant, if I'm not happy with an aspect of my food or my spritz is flat, this has been something that I do make a bit of a fuss about, because a spritz should be served with Prosecco. But if the Prosecco is flat, it's horrible. And I will say something, because I'm like, hold on, I work hard for my money. The money doesn't come down from the sky free of charge every day. I put in the hours and I graft to earn the money that's in my bank account. And so if I decide to spend my money in an establishment, I want to be sure that the quality of what I'm consuming there matches what I'm paying for it. And if it doesn't, I'm going to say something, you know? But it's so surprising how many people don't. And I just wish people would be more direct. I am the sort of person who appreciates people being real with me. If they don't like something that I do, if there's something I could do better, if I need to go about something from a different perspective or angle, I love to know about these things, because I realize that I can grow and improve and develop as a result. You don't grow if you think you are perfect. And we all know there isn't anyone or anything in life that is perfect. So we all need to be told about where we are going wrong or where we can improve, so that we can continuously evolve. Now, I'm very open to receiving comments on my YouTube videos, for example. I will admit that certain comments are really just useless in terms of people giving their opinion, for giving me their two pennies worth without really adding any value to what they're saying. So people will criticize at the very beginning, they used to criticize certain aspects of my appearance. Well, something like that, I can't do anything about, like, how I look in that sense. But I can do something about the audio quality. I can do something about the studio space that I use. I can do something about the style and pacing of my videos. But there are certain aspects I can't change. So I think with any kind of direct feedback or whatever it may be, you have to take from it what you can do something about and really let the rest go, because people love to criticize others, usually when they are not doing something of significance themselves. And so you have to be able to identify what is worth caring about, and just quite simply what isn't. But I think being direct should be the rule of life, because there are so many things that irritate me. Like when I know, for example, that a person knows how to get the information they need, but they pretend that they don't, because they want to appear really gentle and soft, and so they'll be politely asking everybody about this something, but they know how to get that information and they know what they need to do to be able to speak to the necessary people, but they decide to do it passively because they don't want to, I don't know, rock the boat. Something like that annoys me, because I'm like, stop wasting people's time. Be direct, do what you have to do. You're still polite. You are not an impolite person if you are direct, because it is all in the way that you deliver things. It's this. And, I like having this kind of mindset sometimes, because if you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't speak up, you do not see an improvement. And this is what I have always maintained as a philosophy in my life. A lot of the opportunities I've had in my life have come because I've been direct enough to ask for them, or to put myself in situations where those possibilities could become a reality. If I was somebody who was going around the houses, didn't want to, make a scene, or didn't want people to think I was really after this particular opportunity, I would definitely have never obtained them in the first place. You've got to be direct in life. Absolutely. Direct with your dreams, with your goals, with the behavior you will tolerate, with the actions you need to take, with the life that you are building. You must be direct, because if you are not, you are passive. And when you are passive, I almost wonder sometimes, just what is the point? Because you don't give yourself a position of strength or power. You are like a feather blowing around in the wind. And as much as I like feathers because they're my symbol, I also know that a feather cannot always control its direction and where it's going. It's subject very much to the movement around it. And so that is how you are if you're passive. You don't have any kind of structure or backbone to keep you solid in one position. You're swaying around based on what other people do for you and how they treat you and what your circumstances may be. So, if you can in life, I want to encourage you in today's episode to be direct a little bit more. Speak up when things aren't right. Call out that bad service, because trust me, you can do it in a way that's polite, but could also help the business themselves to get better. And, if you know how to do something, just do it. Don't pretend that you don't, because you don't want to seem like, you're rocking the boat because maybe you're going to have to pull somebody up for not doing something. Just do it, because I promise you, you'll get faster results and have a much more peaceful life if you don't beat around the bush. I will see you in the next episode.